you're confident you're gonna win this and write a book after? Like, bro.
Walk until there's only one of you left.
Drive-by movies, you're watching
Fresh releases.
My name's Blaise.
And I'm James.
And this week we're talking The Long Walk.
And no finish line.
The Long Walk is a new film from Francis Lawrence featuring a script from J.T. Milner. It's about a group of teenage boys who compete in an annual contest known as the Long Walk, in which they must maintain a certain walking speed or get shot. So, Blaise, this is a movie that kind of just been advertised a lot and kind of came in out of nowhere, being shown as the new Stephen King joint movie that got his latest like Stephen King adaptation. It's been getting great reviews, but it's been just oddly advertised as like the big movie of the summer. Was it? Well, let's talk about it. What are your thoughts coming out of The Long Walk?
So The Long Walk was one of those movies where I feel like the more marketing I saw, the less interested I became in the movie. It feels like that nowadays, and I have to say, oftentimes in my algorithm, I'm just getting constant A24 sponsored ads.
The dedication that Dwayne Johnson is putting in the new Smashing Machine movie is actually insane.
He has never been an MMA fighter.
Johnson reportedly lost 60 pounds.
Her was an absolute beast in the ring.
Where they're like, you can't wait to see the Smashing Machine. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm interested in Dwayne Johnson. Not me, that's like the influencer who's marketing. I'm like, bro, if you haven't seen it, I'm not interested in what you have to say, because what do you have to say about a movie you haven't seen?
Yeah.
Anyways, this is one of those where I felt like the desaturated color of this movie, just the look of it, I was like, okay, Stephen King, but we've also got 3 other Stephen King movies this year. So yeah, I was like, is The Long Walk really gonna be good? And I have to say, after coming out of it, it was one of those movies where like, okay, I really enjoyed that. I don't know if I need to see it again, but it was one where I really enjoyed it. And I think that comes from how strong the script was.
Yeah, I 100% agree. This is actually one of my favorite movies of the year, and actually brought me to like watery eyes a couple times throughout the movie. But my biggest complaint has nothing to do with the movie. I mean, there were a couple things that I wasn't like a fan of, but the way it was marketed, which we were getting into at the beginning, is what really like maybe just not want to check out this movie. The way it's advertised, like, this is kind of a weird movie to market. I don't know how you would advertise this movie, but they're really selling it like it was like the uplifting sports movie of the year, like rise up and fight, and like it is like, but like, what are we fighting against? Like, what does this movie have to say? And you find out when you watch the movie, but the trailer just makes it seem like we're fighting fascism, we're fighting against the government control, which is essentially the central themes of the movie. But just like the vibe about it just felt very off, because this is a very sinister, dark, and twisted movie. At the end of the day, like, we knew that they were going to get killed, but I didn't know it was going to go into rated R territory. This movie is advertised like a PG-13, like, this is for the boys, this is for the brotherhood advertisements I was seeing. And then when I like the first kill, I was just like, this is a rated R movie, and you know, there's non-stop words, and then like, you know, like slurs used throughout the movie too, like, but you know, it's all part of the script, and you know, like, all used like for certain like weight throughout the movie. But yeah, like, it's a good movie, it's just the marketing was just terrible.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing, is like, usually the marketing for movies will more likely turn me off than get me excited for a movie, because usually the marketing is like, I see a trailer or a sneak peek, or even I just see the director's name or like what the project's kind of generally about, and then I'm like, I want to see that. I don't really want to see a trailer, but then I end up going to the theaters, I get the trailer pumped inside me, and this was one I got pumped. Every movie I saw, I'm like, I saw F1 in this trailer played before. I'm like, this is not relative at all. Like, and it's also just a movie where like, you can't imagine, the plot is so thick, and a lot of what makes it is more just the camaraderie between these boys that go on the long walk. less than the actual long walk itself.
Yeah.
Like, it's more about the scenes and the small things that they have in common and the characters that they are and who they embody and the friendship, especially between our two leads, that really make this movie good. It almost felt, weirdly enough, like Before Sunrise, but the horror version.
Okay, yeah, I can see that, honestly. Yeah, I mean, with all the intimate dialogue that is come out throughout the movie and stuff too, and like, you know, especially with the four musketeers we see in the movie, just because that specific gang, you know, kind of brings everyone together, and even like some of the people who are shown throughout the movie who aren't part of the four main characters still had a lot of weight with their deaths, as well as just like brought a lot to the story. So this movie uses its runtime very well. It uses each scene very well. Each scene matters within this movie, which is hard to do. So it's a very tight-knit script written by JT Molnar. He did Strange Darling, which we reviewed last year. Another great script from him with this one. But my biggest complaints with the movie, where I thought the ending felt a little rushed and were kind of JT Molnar's like faults, but also could have been like editing and studio note kind of issues. But also some of the monologues within this movie, I was just like, this is a great speech and the performance is great, but it feels like someone is writing and preaching this, basically. It didn't feel natural at times, but the performances were so good that it didn't bother me, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I agree with that. It does feel forced at times, but it was one thing where, especially David Johnson, I thought he was really good. His performance, obviously you have Cooper Hoffman, his performance is really well done. Mark Hamill kind of embodies this fascist character well enough, and it's kind of cool to see the dichotomy between him and a lot of the characters he's played in cinema. Obviously, he's this total opposite of that. I just really enjoyed this movie. It was something that I expected, even going in, like, it was getting glazed pretty hard, and I'm like, usually that can also be a negative. I'm like, if people glaze it, then I'm like, I'm probably gonna dislike this movie. This was not that. This was something I really enjoyed, and wasn't a movie that I really expected, because it's about a really no-win situation. Yeah. So therefore, it just feels like this is going to be a trudge watching it. This is just going to be something I expect. And even though you know where the film is going towards the end, I was like locked in the whole movie.
Yeah, I don't know what this writer was thinking. Like, you're gonna write a book, so you're confident you're gonna win this and write a book after? Like, bro. Some of these people, I was just like, you know, you're not making it to the end. Like, and you know, there's conversations about like, why do people sign up for this, or like, are they actually signing up for it? That's a whole different conversation, but that was one thing that like just cracked me up. But want to go back to Mark Hamill. He's fantastic in the movie, but one thing I couldn't take seriously though was some of the perspective shots we got of him, to where he's standing on this like tank the whole movie following them. But then we get the scene with Cooper Hoffman and his dad going up against Mark Hamill. You see how tall Mark Hamill is. Compared to the dad, like, you know, the actor who played his dad, I don't know his name, but like, it was a lot taller than him. And I was just like, bro, just tackle Mark Hamill, man. You're going to get out of this. Yeah.
It's not about the Gestapo they had with guns pointing at it. It's like, dude, you could take on the big dog. Like, go for it.
Yeah. Because they were like a couple feet from each other. Like, yeah, you're going to get shot. But like, you know, you have your chance to tackle him right then and there.
Well, and ultimately, all they want to do is like kill Mark Hamill. So it's like, y'all could have done that before this even. Like, your dad was going to die anyways. Y'all could have just ended it right there.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I can see that. That's hilarious.
Yeah. It defeats the purpose of the movie at the end of the day, but still though, that was just like one thing where I just like, I couldn't take that part seriously, and I was just like, why didn't they like try to film this like, you know, where they just put him on some step stools, or just like try to do a low camera angle just to make him look a little bit taller and more intimidating. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, outside those little complaints though, what we have here is one of the best movies of the year in my opinion. I love this movie.
I will say though, to play devil's advocate, I think this movie could have been done much better if it was in somebody else's hands.
I agree with that though. I don't know who, but
I don't think that Francis Lawrence possesses the capability to make a great movie.
Right.
I think he can make a good movie like he did here, but I think to make a great movie, he doesn't have that. he does not strike me as the guy that has that. There was signs in this of like cracks in the armor where like David Johnson, in like one of the monologues, he breaks almost, you can hear his accent break into the scene, and I'm like, dude, any other director would have made sure that didn't happen, or been like, that was a great take, but we do need to redo it because I heard your English accent pop through. That's just not acceptable. And that falls in the direction. That doesn't fall in the script.
Right.
You know?
'Cause, why bring in a director for hire for a movie like this? You could have got someone with a voice for much cheaper, probably.
Yeah.
You know, Francis Lawrence has brought some fine movies, but I wouldn't say he has a voice. He's just, sorry, man, if you're watching this, but you just come off as a director for hire who would work at Marvel or something.
I feel like he did produce this to give him some slack. That could be a possibility. But he gives me David Yates energy.
I get that, yeah.
Like when they can't focus on like giving it an actual visual style, they're just like, yo, bump up the desaturation, the contrast high, and then we're good to go. That's enough style here. But this, I felt like could have benefited from another, artistic vision.
I mean, heck, even JT Molnar probably could have did a little bit better. I mean, I think some of the highlights of Strange Darling, like some of the highlights were cinematography by Giovanni Ribisi, but yeah, just goes on to show though that JT Molnar's here to stay with writing, at least having 2 successful hits in a row. I know he's done other movies before Strange Darling, but just the fact that we got back-to-back years, great stuff. So yeah, what are your thoughts on the movie? It's in theaters. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of it. Should be hitting on demand soon too, so when it does, be sure to check out that Amazon affiliate link in our description box below.
And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and click that notification bell to get all our latest updates.
And speaking of updates, catch all our social media links down below. We have Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and also our own personal letterbox accounts. That'll conclude this week's episode. Tune in next week for a brand new video.